Today's session is about aliases concept in PowerShell. So here is the agenda. We will look at what is the concept of aliases and then categories of aliases in PowerShell, and then managing aliases means how to create them and how to edit them, and then how can we delete if you don't want, so on and so forth. And then followed by we will see how to export and import the aliases if we need to export it to any other PowerShell consoles, how it is possible. So we'll see that as well, right? So we'll quickly jump into PowerShell console and start looking at the concept of aliases. So basically, first let us see what is an alias. Alias means it's an alternate name or a nickname for a given PowerShell commandlet. Given PowerShell command. So alias will have like multiple use cases, whereas you can save your time while you're writing your PowerShell script because you need not to write the entire commandlet. Instead, you can give your shortest name for your commandlet and then start using that short name uh, then onwards so that you can see the commandlet behavior with that alias itself, right? So let us see the concept of aliases and then proceed with the categories of aliases. Yeah, when it comes to categories of aliases, we have two categories. We have two categories. One is the first one is built-in aliases, and the next one is user-defined aliases. So let us talk about built-in aliases first. So built-in aliases. So built-in aliases concept will be there. So built-in aliases are managed by PowerShell session itself. This is managed by PowerShell session. So these built-in aliases, sorry, I named it as variables. No, it's not variables. Built-in aliases. Built-in aliases are managed by PowerShell session, and these aliases are available in all the consoles. All the consoles, right? So what is the purpose of built-in aliases? Why PowerShell developers has created this? Just to give the backward compatibility. Backward compatibility. So backward compatibility means people will come from different backgrounds. Like some of them are coming from um, command prompt background, maybe a Windows guy. Some may come from a Linux or Unix. So so far they have been habituated for so many native Windows and native Unix and native Mac operating system commandlets. All of a sudden, when they are jumping into PowerShell, it will be a bit difficult for them to manage if they want to run a pure native PowerShell commandlets, right? So that's the reason PowerShell developers wantedly they have created some built-in aliases. So those built-in aliases will help us to use an existing command from commandlets and Linux, Unix shell commandlets and some Mac commandlets as well. So those commandlets will be running in PowerShell, and you'll see the same behavior here as well, right? So first let us check how to get the list of aliases concept. Altogether, this is a new concept. So first let us check what all commands are available to work with aliases concept. So for that reason, out of all commandlets, so we all know that get hyphen command will give you list of all commandlets available in your computer. So instead, I'm going with a filter called hyphen noun alias, so that it gives me the list of commands belongs to a noun called aliases. So here in the output, I got 5 commandlets: export alias, get alias, import alias, and new alias, and set alias. First, let us start with a get alias. Get hyphen alias commandlet will give me all the commandlets, sorry, all the aliases present in our PowerShell session, right? Here are the list of aliases which includes both built-in aliases and user-defined aliases. Okay, the list includes both user-defined aliases and built-in aliases. But for now, uh, after opening this PowerShell session, I haven't created any alias by my own, so that I can say that what all aliases I can see for now in the list, everything is belongs to built-in alias list, right? So in this, we all been working with CLS. So CLS is a commandlet which help us to clear the console. But here, this is actually associated with clear-host. So clear-host is the actual commandlet in PowerShell. So the same commandlet will be coming up with a short key called CLS. I'm just talking about some of the known familiar aliases. DAR. DAR is a commandlet present in command prompt, which help us to get the list of files and folders in a given directory. So the actual commandlet in PowerShell is get-child item, right? So like that, CP is for copy item, CPI is for also for copy item. So a single commandlet may have multiple aliases. Single commandlet may have multiple aliases. So the reason behind this is, see here, dir is associated with get-child item, which help us to give backward compatibility for Windows guys. Windows people used dir in command prompt. Coming to Linux people, they use ls on day-to-day basis. When they are running commandlets, ls is like important commandlet for them, right? ls. So this is for Unix and Linux people, shell commandlet. So this is also the behavior of get-command, right? Sorry, get-child data. So in this way, a single commandlet, a single definition may have multiple aliases, right? Now, so these are the list of built-in aliases so far. Let us see how can we create aliases and how can we manage the aliases in PowerShell. So far we have seen how to use the existing one, how to get the existing list. CLS is working, dir is working, right? ls is working, right? So all the commands, all the aliases are working proper, because in the backend, when you run alias, that is indirectly running your proper PowerShell commandlet. So this alias itself doesn't have any functionality. Alias means you will call with a short name, so that indirectly calls your proper PowerShell commandlet, right? Now, let us see the way to create aliases. There is a command called new-alias. We have seen this in the list of aliases related command. New-alias is a commandlet which help us to create a new alias, where you just need to pass the name of the alias. So it's your wish, because you are creating your alias. So I'm creating my own alias. I'm giving a name called ser. The name of my alias is ser. So I'd like to associate this alias name with a commandlet called get-service. Get-service. So now, as you see here, my alias is created successfully. I did not see any error, means yeah, the creation was successful. If you would like to see that in the list, go with get-alias. You can see ser in this list. Yep, see here. Previously, this was not there. We just created it. This is associated with get-service. So that means whenever you run ser, this gives you the list of services that just behaves like get-service commandlet, right? So as simple as that. Now we just created alias with a simple. Uh, we simplified that. Every time I need not to type get-service, instead I can simply write ser. So SCR, you can apply rest of the things on top of this, just like a commandlet, right? Now, now we will see how can we modify the behavior of alias that is created by the end user. That is possible with the help of set-alias. Set-alias is a commandlet which help us to modify the existing alias. Name of the alias is SCR. I'd like to uh, change the definition for this alias. Previously it was get-service. Now I'm just tagging this to get-date. As you see that this is modified. If you run ser, Now it is throwing me date information. Now it's throwing me date information instead of services information, right? So this is how you can create it, you can modify it. You can create it and you can modify it. Now, so far we have worked with get alias, new alias, and set alias. So coming to the next topic is export and import alias. What is the purpose of export and import alias? So when it comes to PowerShell, whatever is created by the end user, that may be a variable or a function or a module uh, or an alias, can be anything. If it is created by the end user, that cannot be carried forwarded to the next PowerShell session. So SCR we have created here, this is working for get-date commandlet. If I run the same SCR commandlet in new PowerShell session, this will not work. Instead, that shows me that it is not recognized as a proper PowerShell commandlet, isn't it? So that means whatever you created for now, it is just working in the current PowerShell session. So every time we cannot create a new alias, right? So instead, what can we do? We can export all the aliases that you have created in the current PowerShell session to a file and then import that into new PowerShell sessions. So that way you can transfer the aliases between two PowerShell sessions. So first we need to export the alias from this current PowerShell session. Then we can import that in the new session. How can we export it? With the help of export hyphen alias commandlet. Give the path where it has to save. It has to, you can give your local directory path, anything would be fine. I'm giving ctemp alias.csv. You can save your aliases in the form of CSV, right? Now I'm giving the alias name. I don't want to export every alias. If you don't specify the name, export hyphen alias will export all the aliases, includes built-in aliases and user-defined aliases. But I don't want to go with everything. I just want to export one alias called ACR. So this is done. This is successful. Let me open the CSV to cross-verify what's the information present in this. As you see here, as you see here, first 3 lines, 4 lines are commented out. No need to worry about them. Just consider this. SCR is an alias name. It is associated with get-date commandlet for now. So for now, export task is successful. Export alias is successful. Now let us try to import it here. So for now, SCR is not working fine here. Let us import the alias file. Simply need to give the path so that alias is present in the CSV. You can also export multiple aliases. No need to export one at a time. Okay, so that all aliases present in the alias.csv will be imported into the current session. So this is successful. Now you see the behavior of SCR. This is working fine, right? So this is how you can export and import the aliases. Export and import the aliases. So this is all about the concept of aliases. So far we have discussed get alias is to get the list of aliases, set is to modify, new is to create, export is to export the existing aliases to a file, import is to import the aliases from a file, from a CSV file. So this is all about aliases session in PowerShell. So I hope you like the session. If you have any questions, you can please let me know via comments. Thank you so much for watching this. Please do like, share, and subscribe.